Western Digital had what was one of the best value NVMe SSDs on the market in its Blue SN550. Now they've introduced its successor, the Blue SN570, aimed at content creators and gamers who don't want to spend huge sums on their hardware but still want to maximise their performance and get the benefits that super fast NVMe can bring. The SN570 SSDs come in an M.2 2280 form factor and feature the PCIe 3.0x4 interface. Now you may be asking why it's not a PCIe Gen 4 drive, but so far these have come with a huge price premium that goes against what the Blue drives are meant for. Now it's worth noting that the SN570 is a DRAM-less SSD, which did cause a bit of confusion at first, as first-gen versions from cheaper brands were generally budget drives and suffered from significant performance penalties. However, WD is now on its third generation of DRAM-less SSDs, and huge strides in the technology means that they're now really capable. You'll see what we mean when we get to the testing. Now, on paper, the key performance improvement over the SN550 is the increase in sequential read speeds from 2,400 megabytes per second to 3,500 megabytes per second, and write speeds are up from 1,950 to 3,000 megabytes per second. That means that this SSD is now able to fully saturate the PCIe Gen 3 bandwidth at its peak speeds. Like the WD BLUE SN550 before it, the WD BLUE SN570 NVMe family includes 250GB, 500GB and 1TB capacities at launch. Other specs include up to 600TB written for endurance on the 1TB model, which is the same as the latest high-end SSDs and should be more than enough for the average user, along with 460,000 IOPS for read operations, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. For a limited time at launch, there's also an offer of 1 month Adobe Creative Cloud, which is worth £40. Starting with Crystal Dismart, the results are as we'd be expecting them. The SN570 comes in at 3,500 megabytes per second read and 3,000 megabytes per second write. On to our real-world test, starting with a straight copy and paste of a couple of smallish video files, equating to just over 8 gigabytes. And as you can see, the SN570 flies through at a whopping 2.1 gigabytes per second, resulting in a total copy time of just under 4 seconds. Pretty impressive, hey? We then up the file size to a 32 gigabyte folder featuring a few video files. The initial write speeds get up to an impressive 2.2 gigabytes per second. This is absolutely miles ahead of the previous model, the SN550, which manages about 1.5 gigabytes per second and is also actually faster than the previous top-of-the-range WD Black SN750, which held around 1.8 gigabytes per second. However, after around 10 gigabytes, we see the new drive slow down to around 550 to 580 megabytes per second. Interestingly, this is a little slower than the previous generation, which drops to around 850 megabytes per second after 15 gigabytes of writing. So at the end of the copy, the two SSDs actually draw at 31 seconds apiece for a 32 gigabyte file. What this means is that if you're doing copies of 10 gigabytes or less, then the new SN570 is absolutely blazing fast. It should also make for super quick daily tasks like game loading, boot up, and generally using programs, as it has super fast access and write speeds. However, if you're regularly doing over 10 gigabyte file transfers, then you are probably better looking at one of the higher models in the range. So how about a game then? Well, we copied a 60 gigabyte game folder, which has lots of different file sizes and types within it. Now, here we see the first 20 gigabytes speeding through at around 2.5 gigabytes per second, and then the speeds dropped off to around that 550 megabytes mark again. We can only presume that the rapid speed sustaining for longer on the game files than the video files is related to the file types and sizes within the folder we copied. Overall, the SN570 completed the 60 gigabyte transfer in just 1 minute 17 seconds, versus the old model SN550 taking a still respectable 1 minute 32 seconds. So in summary, the new WD BLUE SN570 seems to live up to its excellent performance claims. For day-to-day tasks, it's much faster than its predecessor. In fact, it's actually right up there with the best of the PCIe Gen 3 drives and could actually shame a few of the PCIe Gen 4 in certain tasks. It's nice to see that WD have spent their development time to make this a reality too. At the end of the day, this is a drive that's built to a budget, You can't have everything all of the time at this price point, but the fact that 90% of the time you get the same performance as the fastest SSDs on the market means that living with this drive will be a nice experience. Unless, of course, your day-to-day involves moving larger files of over 20 gigabytes. That's where the limitations start, and it would be worth considering stepping up to a higher model. For everyone else, this will likely be the fastest SSD experience they've ever had. So for us, this means that the SN570 is a great option for your PC. The WD BLUE SN570 is available right now from Scan. So why not let us know what you think of this video? Give us a like and of course subscribe if you want to see more helpful tech and gaming content.